Planet Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Mankind is just about 140,000 years old. Let's put that in perspective. If you condense the Earth's lifespan into 24 hours, that's one full day. Then mankind has been on this planet for just 3 seconds. Yes, 3 seconds, and look at what we have done. We called it Industrial Revolution, a big leap in human advancement, and caused disasters everywhere. Now, we are at the very beginning of the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is the AI or the artificial intelligence. It includes a number of new technologies like the deep learning, Internet of Things, and other distributed ledgers like blockchain. These digital technologies could bring great positive outcomes and even sustainable process. But on the downside, they also consume exorbitant amount of energy and require heavy hardware. Advances in artificial intelligence are primarily achieved through sheer scale, bigger data sets, larger models, more compute. So what needs attention here is the environmental impacts of AI. AI will contribute to the company's carbon footprint. A cost-benefit analysis has to be made in every specific case to see whether it makes sense or not, whether the energy and emission are spent on it are justified. For example, cryptocurrencies' greenhouse gases emissions are much higher than other forms of money. Bitcoin in particular generates more than 10 times of the amount of CO2 than a traditional banknote.
The scale of what the entire environmental impact right now is of Bitcoin mining.
We estimate that the carbon emissions related to this amount to just a little more than 65 megatons per year, which is more than the entire carbon emissions of a country like Greece every year.
The entire country of Greece.
Yeah.
There are also tremendous other opportunities seen for AI to accelerate global efforts in the areas of climate change, biodiversity and conservation, ocean health, water issues, weather forecast, etc. As you know, there are a total of 17 Sustainable Development Goals as defined by the United Nations, grouped under 3 pillars which are environment, economy and society. AI is foreseen to play an important role in achieving not only environmental but all other sustainable goals also. The idea is to model the natural environment and habitat, and to model these we need more and more data points, which means more and more sensors, interlinks, eventually increasing the production of IoTs and processing power to store and analyze the humongous amount of data being captured. Many companies have committed to decarbonizing all energy consumptions by 2030 and say they will operate on 100% carbon-free sustainable sources. While it is possible to generate renewable energy, it is still limited to the equipment we have to produce and store it. The high energy demands of these models are still a concern. It should strike a chord for all of us. There are approximately 600 million people in the world without access to modern electricity. Instead of prioritizing the provision of electricity to these homes, we are prioritizing the training AI model that can beat the world champion at a game. It is time for such calculations to be made explicit and to be evaluated in an open forum. Better regulatory bodies need to be set up to oversee the development of AI. Advancements in AI can only be achieved with scale, which means bigger datasets leading to larger models and eventually more compute. We would continue to add carbon emissions and keep depleting natural resources until we can produce renewable energy everywhere in the world. Even if we are able to completely convert to renewable source, it would still get limited at some point, but AI growth will continue to expand. AI will be there everywhere, and we will be spending all those useful energy for a reason that may not be critical to mankind. So, this is the optimal time to think about 2 things: AI for sustainability and sustainability of AI. For AI's development will strongly influence the future of humanity. Can we together make it to the 4th second?